Salutations, I'm still critiquing, this is still Phoenotopia. Last we left off, we got our heart ruby count up to 9, Moonstone count up to 11, got our inventory to look like this, and got at least 205 rye. But if you happen to get the translucent meat as early as the first visit to Misty Gorge, which is highly unlikely, then you should have 10 less rye and a sandwich. I want to give the sandwich to this guy, who will give you 40 rye in return. This is essential for an area that we'll unlock later, and I will explain that when I get to it on the backtrack through this area. So, moving on, we will be happening upon some of the hardest areas in the game. Dreadlands, Mul Cavern, and Ancient's Crater. And so they will be pretty difficult to commentate, in all honesty. So the reason why you take this bomb here is because it's the easiest way to destroy the other two bombs. You knock this guy down so he's not in your way. Take a bomb here and bring it all the way to the right. This is a really risky procedure. So if you fail it the first time, you can just get it on the backtrack. So what you want to do now is push this door over to where you can slip in here and grab a Moonstone. It usually takes 2 pushes, but if luck is on your side, then you can get it in 1 push. You break this crate, hit the golem 3 times, and then the bombs will take care of it. Make sure this guy's out of your way so you can grab the X key. Yeah, just grab the X key at whatever cost. If things don't go as swimmingly as they did there, then just improvise. Break those crates so you can roll into here, climb up. Break down and destroy this golem. Grab this 0 key here, push this box all the way to the right, roll into here, jump over the bombs, enter here. In this save statue room, sorry, had to burp. On the far right, there are 2 pots. The right pot contains a jar of honey. And if you need safety healing, you can go to the bottom here, and there are heart pots. But in this case, we don't need to do that. So what you want to do now is make sure that this crate stays intact. And if it does break for whatever reason, you can enter and exit this door, and it'll respawn. So you want to push this all the way down to down into the pit here. If you time the javelin throw just right, you should be able to climb up here. And this is the area where you get another heart ruby. So you let those bombs break the floor for you, and then go down to the bottom right. Here's the heart ruby, which is suspiciously surrounded by corpses. Climb up here. If it's not as easy as that, if you get caught up in the golems and stuff, then you can just take the long way, which is the ladder on the far left. Regardless, take that doorway up there, climb up out of here, and avoid the bombs. At this point, there's nothing more to collect in Dreadlands until the backtrack. Break down this golem so it's not in your way. There is a Moonstone in that cracked pot up there, but we will not worry about it until later. For now, pothead clip through this door. No need to grab the X key. Pull out a bomb, throw it, and then throw the javelin at this pot so you get a honeyed tumen. Place the bomb so they don't get damaged by the other bombs. While the lower bomb is the main issue, the other 2 will collide into each other. So now we're on to Mul Cavern. Which is one reason why we get the lamp, because otherwise it would be extremely difficult. Even harder than any %. So, the thing about these hives here is that, while they normally take 8 hits of the wood bat to kill, precisely 8, so that's about 6 hits of the iron hammer, or 4 hits of the morning star, but if you use an explosive like a bomb or a key spear, they just get destroyed instantly. And the reason why you don't want to use melee is because like the hives spawn up to 3 beetles, and they spawn more beetles as you hit them with melee, so that's why. Anyway, we got the rocket boots, which means we can do some hovering stuff. The reason why we destroyed the hives earlier is so that they won't bother us any further. In Phoenotopia, if you destroy anything, then when you come back to the screen, unless you exit to world map, it disappears forever. So this here is an old ration. Like, if your inventory is full here, you can just like remove the kebab, because this old ration has 45 HP of safety healing, which is quite a lot, especially compared to the 20 HP of the kebab. Which can also heal you if you're damaged in like Dreadlands or even this area. So to climb up this little orange mushroom, you can either just hover from here, or if you're going from the hive, a full jump won't do it, so you have to hover at just the right timing to go up a few more pixels. But anyway, the end game is climbing up to the top right here. Then climb back where you came, right up here, hover to the right. Then if you use the key spear here, then blow up all these boxes, grab a Moonstone, the far right. Use the key spear here, destroy both those boxes. So now, when you enter here, you want to ready a key spear on top of the orange cap. And that destroys a hive off screen. And if you enter and exit, the beetles despawn, so you don't have to worry about them. And then from here, just keep going right. Destroying that spider is optional, but kind of recommended. Wait until the splash to time your jump. Throw the key spear here. If you do it right, you should be able to throw it regardless whether the beetle hits you. If you throw the javelin just right, you can easily climb up and grab this Moonstone. And then now, you want to take the third drop from the left. And then this takes you to another Moonstone, which is the last Moonstone in this area. At least in this route. But like, I would consider the route to be ideal. At least for now. I don't know if there are any improvements to be made to this route, but it is the best one I could come up with. So on the next screen there will be 5 hives, and you want to destroy 4 of them. The easy one to start with is this one. Throw a key spear on the orange mushroom and you get an upside down hive. There is a chest containing 60 rye just above the hive, but like we won't worry about that because it's too treacherous and it's not part of the financial plan. So drop a bomb here, and there is a hive at the bottom there. And you can also get this sideways hive in the process. And then once those are cleared, you stand on this purple mushroom and then throw the key spear left to hit the most important hive of all, the one on the far left, which is guarding the heart ruby. By which I mean the only heart ruby in this area. And you don't need to worry about that bottom hive because you can just take the top path. I just take the top path because like the upside down hive is easier to deal with than the lower hive. Like 100 times easier, I would say. Avoid this frog. Usually rolling will work, but you know, if it hits you, that's fine, because like if you get hit when you're in the middle of a roll, you don't get knocked back. Instead, the rolling animation just abruptly stops, and you just end up like being in a little, or acting as if the roll has ended, I guess would be a good way to put it. And then yeah, just keep going right. You gotta time your hovers carefully to make sure you don't run out of stamina and fall earlier than you should. This darn beetle is so stubborn. now just like finish the area. Usually if you hover at maximum height, you should be able to avoid that blue toad there. So here's the final area covered in this part, which is Ancient's Crater. It is the final area in any percent, and the final area that we'll visit before we start backtracking. And I mean like legit backtracking, not just like revisiting part of a place just to find some collectible or some crud. So you want to hover from this platform up to here, and then if you throw the key spear like somewhere over here, you break the rubble without having to detonate the key spear manually. Throw the javelin at about this height, and this is where you want to use the Tumid. Because if you don't, you won't be able to run past this little flying bomb here. If you pixel hover, you should be able to get up there normally, like I failed to. Do as I say, not as I do. Now if you hover all the way with a stamina boost, you should be able to skip all this hullabaloo and just keep going right. And go into here, you find a cutscene where Billy greets all these golems here. And they apparently have a bunch of other shards that we don't, and we have one that they don't. So we collaborate and I get the artifact. So with this artifact, you can disable laser towers and activate futuristic switches. Beware of this laser tower. If you wander too far left, you will get hit for 10 damage. Dang. So you want to destroy these two cannons first. Activate the switch here, disable the laser tower over there, grab this Moonstone. That's too low. Climb out of here, hover over here, and then just go back to where you came from, where you got the artifact. And then the music will stop playing eventually. Keep disabling the laser towers here, and head over to the right. Look out for this shockwave. Throw this at ground level and you should be able to easily navigate it through this pit thing. Shine at the little switch off screen there. In preparation for this, again, if you wander too far right, you will get hit. Shine over here. Now, you see this turret here is accompanied by a laser tower. The thing is, you can pull out a bomb and throw it right over there so that the laser tower detonates the bomb for you, and in the process damages the turret. In this case, you want to wait out the shockwaves and then just go ham when the turret is on cooldown. That's the only case though. For the other cases, you just do the laser tower assisted beating. Now, here there's a cutscene trigger. You have to wait out the shockwaves. Well, you don't have to, but you should wait out the shockwaves because you are actually vulnerable during the cutscene. Meaning you will get damaged if the shockwaves touch you during the cutscene. So then just shine all of these switches. Like normally they're well hidden and you have to go left and right to find them, but if you know where they are, it's easy. So now, you encounter these little invisible mazes where like they're hidden until you shine the artifact on them, but like if you know how to navigate them blindly, it's fast. It's like way faster that way. So the way to navigate this blindly, you jump to the left, do a short hop javelin throw, climb up, look for the highest platform over here, which is usually the closest, and then you can use that to climb up here, and then when you're up here, hover until you hit the second little pillar thing in the background, and then fall into the pit here. I think I screwed it up. Yeah. Let me try again. So you keep hovering until you're past the second pillar, and this is the pit you want to fall down. sorry about that. And then you want to start going to the right because there are a bunch of switches that you have to hit, and activates a door that's on the left, and only one of the switches is to the right, so you want to deal with that first. So you throw a javelin at it, and some arcs appear. You don't have to fight them, you can just like climb out of there. Avoid the cannons and whatnot. Turrets, whatever. Now here is where I would normally use a jar of honey, but for the sake of demonstration, I'm gonna purposely opt not to, so that it's easier to explain things as I go along. Like normally I'd want to pull out a bomb here, place it on these boxes, and then place a bomb atop this switch. The first bomb makes it so I can get the E-soda, and the second bomb makes it so I can easily flee from these flying turrets. The final switch is inside this little tunnel thing here. If you throw a javelin at this level, it's easy to hit. And a bunch of flying bombs appear, which you want to escape from. And here is the aquarium room. From here, just go right. Hover over the laser beams here, roll. Now here's the thing about this little laser trap. You have to roll to 100% guarantee avoiding the laser trap. Like, if you have a stamina boost, you can sometimes avoid it by just running through, but sometimes not. The only consistent way is to roll past them. Period. About this laser trap, if I were to run into it, 2 arcs would spawn, and the barricade would go up, but you can actually skip this, because if you go near the laser and then throw the bomb at like maximum height, or, well, it's not that tight a window. You just like throw it on top of the barricade and then hover over this arc. Take precaution to do that, otherwise you will get hit. And then you should be, if all goes according to plan, you should be past the barricade. And then do the same for this, except without the hovering step. And now here, here to the top left, there is a chest containing 50 rye and also a moonstone. Here you can shine the artifact and see this little invisible platform. So don't take this entrance yet, just like hover over here and then back to the right. Easy enough. And climb up here. Shoot. I would normally have a stamina boost here, so I wouldn't have to worry about stamina management, but otherwise, it's kind of a problem, to say the least. Ah, shoot, what? I'm not going to use the stamina boost. Not until I have to demonstrate harpie skip, which you'll find out later. Well, I think until Golem skip, actually. Anyway, so this is the chest containing the rye, and we're going to dupe it, obviously. Positionings are here, here, and trying to get the middle one. Here. Basically, you see the little 180-degree rotated L-shaped thing and the rectangular patch to the immediate left of it. You want the tip of Gale's front foot to not be on any of the edges. So that's how I remember the positioning. The turrets may get kind of annoying, but you know, that's just how it goes. So you get a Moonstone and 100 rye from all that. And then jump at maximum height and hover. That's sort of like what you do when you enter the first room past the aquarium. And then from here, if you place a bomb and then wait until this, then the bomb will block the laser, ideally. And then with proper hovering, you should be able to just completely avoid the laser trap. So here we run into the second invisible maze here. The way to navigate this blindly is go left and then down to the bottom, and you want to move so that you're just behind but not past the little gray thing in the background, like the second gray thing. Jump all the way, throw a javelin, and then you can climb up here. If you need a safety heal, you have this heart pot. And if you throw it from here, here, or here, I think? Or, I'm trying to find the middle ground. Here. I think. I'm not sure. Then you can actually duplicate the heart spoils and get like 20 HP. Somewhere close. I'm trying to play it safe here. Make sure I don't run out of stamina too early, because it would be bad if I did. So you can hover over this pit, or you can just like... I want to demonstrate it. Like, rather than that, you can hug the wall. No, it only works from the left side. You can hug the wall here, and that'll allow you to avoid the rolling bomb. So anyway, I'm hoping I can demonstrate this properly, because this is like one of the hardest tricks in the game, and it's called Golem Skip. You want to position Gale so that at least part of her is within the laser trap, or if her body is just up against the trap, and then like throw a bomb at maximum height, which is helped by hovering, like that. And here's where I'm going to use the stamina boost. Activate the trap, hover over the golem corpse, but not too soon, otherwise you will get hit by the corpse. And if you perform it correctly, you should be able to go past both barricades, and that is Golem Skip. And here we're going to perform another skip, which is Harpie Skip. There is a trap that that moves a horizontal barricade, and then you're forced to fight a Harpie battle, but like if you run past the laser trap and do a rather precise jump, see if I can demonstrate it, like that, and slow your descent by hovering, then you skip the battle. This is such a great help in any percent. Like, I'm so glad that I managed to discover it. Anyway, moving on, just try to avoid the laser traps because they activate the little laser shooters on the far right. So for this little switch puzzle here, you want to hit the first switch from the right so that the rolling bomb goes left, and then hit the next one at a distance using the javelin, then hit the other switch and, you know, repeat the process, and then just like alternate these little barricades here so that the bomb will hit the switch and raise the main barricade, and then you can move on to this little cutscene here. Alright, I'm glad to have finally gotten a good take of this. So instead of proceeding to the final boss like you would in any percent, you just take this teleporter back to the entrance, and that is where I'll end this part actually. Next time, we're going to do some backtracking. Right now, we have collected 11 heart rubies and 17 moonstones. Should have all these items in the inventory, and at least 305 rye, or 335 if you get the translucent meat early. À la prochaine.